Hello everybody and welcome to episode 105 of the Pentagon Challenge, where we'll be talking about how the last season has gone rather badly, and then my transfers to make things a little bit better in the next. So as we saw, we failed to win the Champions League semi-final against Toronto FC, and they ended up breaking the MLS curse and destroying Club America to become the champions outright. So that's even more remorse for me, as I really wanted to make it 2 out of 5 in the Pentagon Challenge. But Toronto FC, I have to say congratulations for winning the North American Champions League for the very first time. And of course, the last time any MLS club won it was 2018-19. And even before that, it's been all about the Liga MX. So that's the changing of the guard or a hiccup, I don't know. But we'll have to work harder next season and get back into the Champions League, or turn my back on Morelia and find a better job. So the league table didn't go much better, but we did win our final 2 games of the season. 5-0 against Chiala, which was exactly what I wanted to see, a good demolition of an inferior team. And then we slipped a single goal past Veracruz in the 39th minute to defeat them. The best we managed was a rather lowly 12th position, and that was just 3 points away from the playoffs, so we could have made it if we had a better goal difference and 4 more points on the board. But we'll just have to improve our defence next season, conceding 27 in the closing stage compared to 22 in the opening stage is not good enough, and we also hit the back of the net 10 fewer times. So something went wrong as we tried to balance winning on 2 fronts, but we'll hopefully improve on that next season. And we'll look at the stats of the division overall, try and make sense of what has happened. So the top scorer for the year was the man who scored against me 3 times, Sar Fiore. In second place was Carlos Roberto Gonzalez for Cruz Azul, and Fabricio Lopez was the 3rd best scorer for Querétaro. Mora, Everton, Felipe and Ortiz were the top rated players, and best assistants were Ramirez, Mora and Everton Felipe with 16 there. The winner of the closing stage final were Querétaro, so they win a title back with thanks to Andres Guardado. But of course, despite their recent success on the continental front, they've actually only won the league twice in the closing stage and once in the opening stage, so they're not historically significant, but they are on the rise, no question. Let's just go into the team detailed and see what exactly we can do better. So we were unable to hold more than half of our possession this year, only getting 49.22, which is the 12th best score. We were given 2 penalties and we scored both of them. Headers came in 9th there. Red cards, we were among the worst, so we'll try and improve that. We won most of our headers, so that's good. Games scored in a row, all very interesting, I'm sure. Minutes since last goal. These stats probably not ideal, but we did win 2 in a row, the best out of anybody. The goals scored across all competitions, we were tied for 8th with 52, so that really should have been utilised better. We should have been in the top 8 twice, in my opinion. Cross completion 14%. We completed 155 crosses, scored 2 goals from corners, and I presume none from a free kick. Yeah, we scored 5 from indirect free kicks, though passing is important. Here we only got the 12th best result with 71%, which is tied with a lot of other clubs, but I presume we made fewer passes than some of them. So yeah, we had played fewer games as well, we have to keep that in mind. Passes completed were down near the bottom, 11,973, but I don't know how many were attempted. So yeah, I can't really pick that up. Defending, we were again the 8th best team in defence, but we didn't convert that into points, which is a major concern. We conceded a lot of goals from corners. We have to improve that. The 3rd worst defence. None conceded there. And 6 conceded there, another concern. Clean sheets, we only kept 8, which is pretty poor to say the least. We're a high fouling team by a long shot, with 1,160 tackles, and we won that many, but not really particularly impressive. We are among the worst tacklers, and we gave away 4 penalties, among the worst, so that's a warning sign. We'll have to do better than that next year. Average attendance, we're one of the lesser supported clubs, considering we're not from a major city. That is to be expected, but I would like to see the percentage score. Can I get it here? Average attendance by capacity, we are down near the bottom at 63%, so only the likes of Pumas, Chivas and America with massive stadiums fall into line with us there. Stadium sellouts, we probably only got the one, yeah. Lowest attendance, 19,000, that's not too bad, but it could have been better. And we spent nothing in transfer spend and in the salaries. We're actually a very low spending team, but the fact that we're struggling for money already shows we kind of have to remain that way, or else we'll be in trouble. We don't even have the 7-figure sum, but we did have to get board in input to the finances, as well as paying taxes and whatnot. So that was the main crux with the squad overall. Let's look at how they did as an individual entity. So we'll go overall very quickly. I won't take up too much of your time. Andres Robles, unsurprisingly, was our captain, and he played most often, 31 times. Vasquez, the midfielder and right back, played 29 times. Diego Carlos, Cota and Fouquet in 5th place. That's very impressive for a loaned player. Down at the bottom, Jose Torres and Ivan Zaniga didn't get many chances. Rosales is a centre back. He only got 6 games since his transfer. Omar Bravo, I'm trying to keep him permanently. He only played 6 times from the start. Eder Morales, 11 substitute appearances, and so on and so forth. Ibarra, pretty good there. And Okoro, very good from a winter signing. Goals scored, this is actually in good shape. In my opinion, we have lots of variety in this category. The top scorers were Luis Manuel Cota from the left and Jaime Delgadillo in striker centre. That was brilliant. Rafael scored 9 goals, as well as Galeana. So we have plenty of strikers. It's just the fact we didn't give our defenders a break was probably a letdown. Alvarez 6 goals, Wallace and Ricardo 5, Raul Moreno 4. Alfita, who scored twice in the opening day, ended up only scoring 3 times overall. Morales 3, Vitor, Reyes and Ibarra twice, Robles, Vasquez, Carlos, Fernandez and Bravo 1 goal. Assists, Cota and Ricardo and Alfita got 9 each. Alvarez 8, Rafael 6, Delgadillo all the way down to Vasquez got 1 to 3. The Man of the Match awards, Rafael all on his own with 3, and then from Cota down to Vasquez they got 1. Pass completion ratio, Vasquez with the best, 83%, and then the lowest through most appearances, Delgado in centre back, only completed 57% of his passes, and then most of the other defenders were pretty poor on the ball, so you'll have to keep that in mind. Vasquez made 5.4, 9 tackles per game. Requajo 5.37, Fouquet 5.17, Rossi 4.76, and Robles exact same ratio. Shots on target, Cota with 56%, Delgadillo 55, and Alfita 53. Yellow cards, 10 for Rossi with 1 red on top of that, and then we variety from 7 all the way down to none, which is impressive for the likes of Alfita and Okoro not getting a single yellow card, but Okoro was sent off in the game, so that has to change. Rossi and Okoro were sent off during the year. Cota, the highest rated player on average. Okoro did very well in second there. Alvarez third, Delgadillo fourth, and Moreno fifth. Switching the table, Rossi, Fernandez, Requejo, Fouquet and Estrella were the worst players who played 10 games or more. So we'll keep that in mind for next season. Some guys have done really well, some have to improve dramatically, but I am reasonably pleased with this team. I know I'm gutted to have missed out on Champions League and whatnot. We have to do better next season, as I have not brought the club forward. As you can see, they finished 5th in the opening stage last year and they finished 4th in the closing stage. So they are a team capable of better. I know they've given away key players over the years, but I do have to make my reputation count for more than I am at the minute. So if I go back to my profile, still 3.2 star popularity and reputation, but I will be looking out for jobs if they appear. Excuse me, I'm getting a bit drowsy now. So I'll just quickly say my director of football made a rather needless signing from Pachuca. He'll be coming in the summer. I hope he's not too expensive. And then I'm making an attempt to sign Omar Bravo permanently. I think he's served the club very well with the appearances at the start and off the bench. And the right midfield has been troublesome for me this year, as at least one of the two guys were injured more often than not. So we'll keep that in mind with Bravo, who can also play in the centre, and he can provide something different for us. He's fantastic in the physicals. It's just his technique and mental stats are not so good. But we'll see if we can keep him on a permanent and try and find some cheap loan signings and maybe let go of some deadwood if there is a good price for them. But if I do have time, I'll fast forward to the transfer window. It's not open for another few weeks. They can see it's opening on the 15th. Some of my loaned players will be gone, so I'll open up some slots for foreigners, and we'll see what kind of business we can do during pre-season, where we'll be going to Spain to play some of their teams in a training camp. So fingers crossed there is some good business ready to be made. I'm glad you can join me for the rest of episode 105. We will sum up how pre-season has gone and the transfers I've made that I believe will bring silverware a little bit closer to Monarcas Morelia this season. We were nowhere near it in the year gone by, which is a great shame. The first time that I've really struggled to make an impact in a division. As you can see, my worst finish while I had the full term, those were 9th for Vasco da Gama Cape Town and Shanghai Shenhua. But ever since then I've been mostly successful, but I'm without a trophy now since the Copa Libertadores Glory Day, and we'll have to make that change hopefully by this season, as instead of North American Champions League football we are going to get Mexican Cup opening and hopefully closing stage entries as well. So we'll be playing rather mediocre teams such as Tapachula, the Universidad de Guadalajara, and then FC Juarez as well, who were playing in the league on the opening day. But of course we have some very difficult fixtures like Tigres, Pumas, Leon and Toluca all coming up. So the winner of the closing stage, I think, was it Chivas? I think it was. We'll double check that. Chivas Guadalajara. The closing stage. No, they didn't. They won the opening stage. So I'll have to just double check that. Querétaro, of course. Yeah, they won the closing stage last year. And they probably deserved it. Yeah, finishing top of the league should mean you win the title. But anyway, let's just talk about the pre-season in full. I had it scroll down for the most part. So everything was a pretty routine victory, scoring at least 4 goals, except against Cadiz on our training camp in Spain. I was expecting a defeat here, but nothing like that. But at least since then we've been in very good form, and the players should be optimistic heading to the Estadio Olímpico Benito Juárez, named after the club it seems. And now let's check out those transfers I've been dying to tell you about. Vitor being retained as a transfer in because he's such an important player for us. He didn't even make a peep about the offer being rejected, so I'm proud of him, and I hope he continues the loyalty. So we've got Carlos Alvarez into the club. He's a director of football signing. I don't really care too much about him. And then Omar Bravo is back. He will be playing on the right hand side for us again. Our loan signings, except for Felipe Zamora, are all here, such as Fouquet, Raphael, and of course Bravo's been retained. And so we'll check out the other players that have joined. So we have Luis Manuel Perez, who will replace Rossi in right back, and he's been pretty good for us so far, but he cannot appear today in a week's time for his Mexican League debut with us, as he was sent off in a previous game in the league, so he can't play, but he could be a pretty good player for us as the time goes by. For defensive midfield duties, I've signed Abner Acevedo as a loan signing as well. He could prove very useful indeed, and he has almost perfect ball-winning midfielder abilities, but he can also play make, and with the physicals and some of the mentals, he could be really good, but he does need to improve drastically on his technique skills. It's probably the thing that's let him down, but it's his first time out of Chivas' system, so I hope to give him a lot of team football this year. We sold, of course, the fifth foreigner, or we didn't keep him, so to fill that void we needed better defenders, and I've taken a gamble on Todd Nguyen, as he's called. So he comes from Orlando City, and it's his first time outside of the United States, so we'll hopefully give him a lot of first team football too. But the fact that we conceded a lot of goals in the closing stage in particular means that we have to do something about our defence, and even though we are going to probably play Robles and Diego Carlos again this season, it is important to have backups ready and willing. So again, we have cases of fantastic mental and physical skills, but technical skills are pretty mediocre. But when you're a centre back, you really do need to be better at the mental side of your game than the technical. Next up, we don't really have anyone else, but we did let go of some rather useless players there, so we've made no money and we've brought in a lot of signings. We've youth guys that I'd like to bring forward to you, such as Gerardo Velasquez. He can play left back and wing back, and he could be a star of the future with this high star rating, and only 17. He's certainly growing exponentially, and I hope to see that trend continue. There could be a few players I might let go on loan if necessary, but at the moment it doesn't seem likely. And then in the under 18s, I think we have a few good players who would also like to be promoted. Deep breath. One such example is Olivier Lang. He's actually French, but he has Mexican heritage as well, so he's come over to play for Morelia's youth system, and hopefully he'll be a first team player in future days. And then an already one star midfielder is Sebastian Acosta. He can play either defensive midfield or central midfield, and I can see why the scouts and the coaching team are impressed. The 17 teamwork, 13 passing and 14 natural fitness should take him reasonably far in the game, but I have no reason to promote him as of yet. So anyway, the finances are pretty good, but the board are unhappy that I'm spending a lot on the wages, and I've depleted the entire transfer budget trying to sign all these players. I could have brought in a new striker, but I'd rather just keep the young fellas happy and work on that. We've let go of some scouts, so we have 4 left. We could probably do with some more, but I don't see the need to sign them all straight away. Then in terms of injury news, we're absolutely clean, nothing to worry about. But Juan Jose Gonzalez has impressed the senior Mexican management, and he is currently playing, or at least sitting on the bench for the Mexicans, the L3. They are just finished the Gold Cup, I think. No, they're in the semi-final stage, so we could have another winner heading into the team. But at least we're starting to get someone noticed for the national team, because there's dominance either from the European League, such as this guy. I wanted him on loan but was never going to happen, or from the big four clubs, Pumas, Querétaro, Tigres and Club America, all contributing massively to the squad, and they have some injuries, which is a real shame. Carlos Vieiro is going to be out for a long time, so that's big news, and Pumas are missing a star player as well, so hard luck certainly for the Mexican national team, but I hope they do win something in terms of the senior team, because they have been a bit unlucky. And Juan Jose has 2 North American under-20 championship titles to his name, so it would be a phenomenon if he won the Gold Cup as well. But anyway, that should conclude the episode. We'll come back sometime later. We haven't live commed the game against Leon, so I'd like some payback against them, since they have beaten me quite comprehensively in the 2 times I played them in the season. So thank you very much for watching, and please stay tuned if you can, but if not, then I'll certainly try and make amends. But until next time, goodbye for now.